Shalom, happy Sabbath, family. Happy Sabbath, Israel. All right. I'm Captain Severus here in Orlando, Florida.
That's right.
All right. So today we're going to go over a topic. I know it's early morning. Most of y'all probably still asleep. Y'all was going hard last night, bringing in the Sabbath. I pray that was everybody was doing. Today's topic is a basic topic. Okay. The name of the title of the class is The 5 Divisions of Our Law. The 5 divisions of our law, or 5 categories of our law. Yes, I say our law. Our law because the commandments that is documented and left behind by our forefathers belong to us. Yes. Okay, and we're going to go over that. We will go into detail in actually bringing that concept and understanding of the categories of our law. Because a lot of our people stumble at that. I mean, I've been ear hustling on you iPhone users. What's that thing called?
Clubhouse.
Say it in the mic. What is it called?
Clubhouse.
Yeah. So I've been ear hustling. Yeah, because I'm a dedicated Androidian. All right. So Lord's will. We will rise again. We will rise again. But in the meantime, I've been ear hustling and listening in. All right. Threw a couple of precepts in there. But I see a lot of our people struggle with the law. All right. And the reason for that is because, remember, our people, they've been bred to that point of abandoning their heritage. Give me that in Jeremiah 17:4 real quick. They've been programmed to abandon their heritage and take on the heathen custom, okay? And we got warned of that thing. The Lord Most High warned his people over and over, if you begin to do it your way, guess what I got lined up for you? Give me that in Jeremiah 17:4.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
Even thyself, Jeremiah, will discontinue from what?
Thine heritage.
Thy what?
Thine heritage.
Now we're gonna stop right there. Let's get. I don't have that written down, but we're gonna get what our heritage is, right? Well, let's get that. You know what I want in Sirach? All right, let's get that. Our heritage. Our heritage. The Israelites' heritage. Let's get that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 24 and verse 23.
Uh-huh.
All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God.
Mm-hmm.
Even the law.
Even the what?
Even the law.
Come on.
Which Moses commanded for an heritage.
For a what?
An heritage.
Yes, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, those scattered in the diaspora. This Bible is your heritage. It is our heritage. Read it again.
All these things are the book of the covenant.
All these things documented in the Bible, left for us, and through the ages still being regurgitated, repeated again. Okay, read.
Of the Most High God.
Mm-hmm.
Even the law.
Even the what?
Even the law.
Even the law. And when we say law, because over and over you hear law, you're going to understand how the categories of law or the divisions of law are intertwined. We're going to go over that. Be patient. Get your cup of iced coffee, iced tea. All right, get your morning breakfast. Get ready. Go ahead.
Which Moses commanded for an heritage.
Moses commanded for a heritage. All right. Go ahead. Is that it on that?
Unto the congregations of Jacob.
Of who?
Of Jacob.
That's us, the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. So, okay, let's go to Psalms chapter 1, verse 3. 5 categories of law, 5 divisions of our law.
The book of Psalms, chapter 1 and verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit.
That bringeth forth what?
His fruit.
His fruit. Fruit, you can see it. You can see fruit. All right? It's not hidden, okay? I know, especially down here in Miami where we have fruitful trees, mangoes, all right, sugar canes. You can see it. It's not hidden nowhere. All right? Read.
His fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Everything he what?
Doeth shall prosper.
Read it again.
Verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Go now. Jump up to verse 1. Verse 1 and 2.
Verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
It said, blessed is the brother or sister that does not walk in the same way or direction, fashion of the ungodly. Blessed is that person. Because, you know, in Christianity, modern Christianity, right, that negates the commandments of God, right, that goes against or contrary to God's laws, God says they are blessed. They like to mention they are blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored. You'll hear that comment over and over in the mouths of our simple people.
That's right.
Our people. Now, these are our people. These are our folks. So it's all right for us to say that. Okay? It says, blessed is that man, brother or sister, that does not walk in the same way, fashion, direction of the ungodly. Read.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners.
Or standeth in the same fashion of sinners. Stop. Give me 1 John 3 and 4. 1 John 3 and 4. What is sin? Or who are the sinners?
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Transgression means to break, violate. Come on.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
You are a sinner when you what? Read.
The transgression of the law.
When you break, violate, go against the commandments of God. And thus, what do you do at the same time? You are separated from your heritage. You are separated from your heritage. I don't have the book with me, but I think it was Josephus. Once you begin to, negate your heritage, you lose your identity because it's one and the same. All right, because what's contained in your heritage? You have your customs, you have your language, what God you serve. Okay, all this has been ripped away from us, and we read that in Jeremiah. Did we finish that in Jeremiah? Go back to Jeremiah 17 and 4. Go back to that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
That who gave us?
That I gave thee.
Read on.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
You serve who?
Thine enemies.
Because the purpose of what happened is once we rejected our heritage, our laws, our customs, guess what happened? God said, listen, I'm going to give you to a nation that's going to abuse you and rip you away to do my will. Rip you away from my glorious heritage, my glorious laws. And what they're going to do? Teach you what? Contrary to God's laws, right? Because you have your friends are people you call friends are someone who's going to do good by you. Enemies are what? The opposite. They're going to do what? They're going to teach you contrary. They're going to drag you. They're going to slave you, kill you, rape you, take away from you. That's the will of God. Read it again.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies. In the land which thou knowest not.
Here in Babylon the Great, America, they are contrary to God's commandments. They are the enemy of God. They are the enemy of our nation. I said that for a reason. All right? They are the enemy of our nation, so they're going to teach you contrary to God. Go back to Psalms 1. Read down to verse 2.
The book of Psalms, chapter 1 and verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord.
You start at verse 1.
Verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
Blessed is that man. Come on.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners. Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Oh, nor sit in the seat of the scornful. Give me the definition of ungodly. Ungodly. Pull that up. Okay. Read that for me when you get it. There we go. Ungodly.
Ungodly. Irreligious or immoral.
Immoral. Watch. Read on. Similar.
Okay. Unholy. Godless.
Godless. So you telling me God is going to put you in the hand of a nation that is godless. Read on.
Irreligious.
Come on.
Impious. Blasphemous.
Blasphemous. Lie. Go ahead.
Sacrilegious.
Sacrilege.
Profane. Heathen.
Heathen. Come on now.
Pagan.
Atheistic.
Non-theistic. Irreverent immoral.
Immoral. Did we read that?
Corrupt.
Come on.
Depraved. Sinful.
Sinful. We read that. To be sinful, that means you are violating God's laws. You're violating your forefathers' heritage, basically. You're throwing it away. And anyone who's speaking in that manner, remember, they are contrary to God. They hate God. Read.
Wicked.
Wicked. Come on.
Evil. Iniquitous. Devilish.
Devilish. So when we say you got the devil on you, brother, you need to examine yourself. Devil on you, sister. You need to examine yourself. That means you are ungodly. Right? Read on.
Fiendish. Demonic.
A demon has taken over. Read.
Diabolical.
Come on.
Satanic. Infernal.
Back to the scriptures. Back to the scriptures. Back to the scriptures.
Book of Psalm, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Blessed
is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Read.
But his delight.
But his delight
is in the law of the Lord.
Is in the who?
The law of the Lord.
Whose delight is in the law of the Lord. That's who the Lord is really looking to. Who are those who are delighting in my laws? Read on.
And in his law doth he meditate day and night.
Here we go. That's the attributes behind it. Are you meditating day and night? There was a brother on the group who asked a good question that really stayed in my mind. He asked, you could hear he was really thirsty for the knowledge. He asked, where in the Bible can I find these commandments? Because I hear law, but where? Where do I need to go? Where should I start? And that's how you know someone who's truly designed to delight in the word of the Lord and the laws of God. They want to know why the importance of that, because they want to make sure that they please the Lord. That's one thing I constantly teach my brothers and sisters, that make it your business to be on the right side of the Lord. You don't want to be on his bad side. Just like you parents. You tell your children all the time, you better not go against what I said. You want to see my bad side, right? You say that to the children all the time. I say that to my kids. I tell my kids all the time, listen, the only reason why you're still breathing right now, because daddy allowed you to be here. Make me happy. You want that Xbox in your room? Make daddy and mommy happy. Then you'll be all right. Make me happy. You'll be okay. Make me happy. All right? Don't fight with your sister. Okay? I just told my son that the other day. He getting into it. He kicked his sisters out of his room. I'm like, wait a minute. First of all, how much down you put on this house right here?
Right.
Okay? This water bill, how much? Let me know what percentage you paying. I need to know. You kicking your sisters out of your room. You doing this. I understand that part, but still, how much rent you paying? You adding on. You got no say-so, just like us. We have no say-so for our lives, y'all. It was given. So you want to be on the good side of the Lord, right? So read it again, verse 2.
Verse 2, But his delight is in the law of the Lord.
So blessed is that man, blessed is that sister, that delight in the law of God, of the Lord. Read.
And in his law doth he meditate day and night.
That's the point. You are meditating. In order for you to know it and master the commandments of God, all right, and to delight in the laws of the Lord, you must be meditating day and night. Modern Christianity has not put stress that. They have not put no points. You have something?
Yeah, Cap. Just to that point about meditating on the law, you know, when you believe that all you got to do is just say Jesus, go in the closet and throw up a couple of Hail Marys, then this would not make any sense to you.
Absolutely. And a lot of our people who are stuck in Christianity, that they missing the guidelines. Give me that in Isaiah 8 and 20. Watch this. 8 and 20. The Most High laid it out beautifully. He laid it out. But if you don't have this remedy, this formula, we're going to tap into this formula right here. Hopefully you begin to use this formula and then apply it and examine those who claim to be God-fearing, claim to be blessed, claim to be prophets. If they don't have this formula, forget about it. Go ahead, read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20.
To
the law.
To the what?
To the law.
Read.
And to the testimony.
The testimony. Everything written aforetime. Right? The ups and downs that happened to the prophets. Okay? How they stood firm on the laws of God. That's the testimonies of Jesus Christ. That's the testimonies. Read.
if they speak not according to this
if
word.
they don't come in that form or fashion or teaching, read.
According to this word.
According to this word, read.
It is because there is no light.
Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. If they don't have the laws and the testimonies of Jesus Christ, the testimonies of the prophets that came was putting in the work and constantly prophesying of the upcoming kingdom. If they don't have that, throw it away. Get up out of that church. You in a graveyard. Plain and simple. You in theology school. That's how they say it? Cemetery school. You in the congregation of the dead, not learning nothing. You're not learning nothing but a feel-good message, but not putting your effort on pleasing the Lord. How you showing the Lord you respect him and reverence him by not doing what he asked you to do? What sense does that make? That you go ahead into one of his institutions and that claims to be built on Christ, built on the foundation of God, and don't learn nothing that God requires of us.
You learn big words, though.
You do learn big words. Was it
exegesis and hermeneutics?
Hermeneutics. Yeah. That can't do nothing for your nation. Unbelievable. All right, go back. Now let's go to Psalms 40. So if you don't have that, that's one of the formulas that you'll find in the Bible. But if you don't have that, because Christianity or teaches stay only in the New Text. Okay, that's Old Testament. Well, let me deal with that real quick. Go to Matthew. Was it 13? Yep. There we go. Let's hear what Christ said out of his own mouth.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 52. Then said he unto them, therefore every scribe.
Remember, what was the job of the scribes? It was to make sure they document everything that happened in our history, right? They had to document it. Read it again.
Therefore, every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven.
Right, because that was the reason, the purpose of scribing. All right, to make sure something was left historically down for the children to come, so that the mission would continue. Read.
Is like unto a man that is an householder.
Come on.
Which bringeth forth out of his treasure things new.
Things what?
New and old.
New and old. You had to have both. Okay, for you to start your whole ministry on half of your heritage, you're wasting your time. You're not built on a solid foundation. Okay, and most of our people are stuck in that. And we've seen where our people are thirsty for this knowledge and understanding, and then the Lord is opening up the doors. Okay, because in those groups you see 1,000 at one time period, and they shut us down. And then the Most High opened up another door. I'm telling you, it's gonna continue. It's only gonna get worse. Most High ain't playing. He is serious about his word. Okay, and as the time increases, you're gonna see more and more people. Even if you're a scoffer, for some reason the Lord is gonna still put you right there. Now, because in Judgment Day, you don't have no excuse. You heard the words of the prophets. You heard what was needed of you. So you have no excuse. Okay? Let's go to Psalms 40 and 8. All right? So we just read, you need that formula, things of new and old. You need the Old Testament, everything written aforetime. Aforetime was written for our what? Our learning. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 40 and verse 8.
Come on.
I delight to do thy will.
All right, this is King David reading. He said he delight to do what?
Thy will.
Let's see what the will is.
Oh my God. Yea, thy law.
Thy what?
Thy law is within my heart.
You see that? This is an example of King David, one of our forefathers, rejoicing in the law of the Lord. He's showing the importance of the law. Okay? Is that it on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Proverbs 4 and 1. Oh, you had something to Baruch. Go ahead, pull that.
Well, actually, you just read the scripture about new and old, right?
Yeah.
Can I back you up
go
on
ahead,
that?
Go ahead.
Jump up to verse 7, officer.
Matthew 13?
No, it's Psalms 40 and 7.
Book of Psalms, chapter 40 and verse 13. Sorry, give it to me.
No, 40 and 7.
40 and 7.
We just read verse 8. Jump up to verse 7.
Verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come. In the volume of the book, it is written of me.
So if you want to know about Christ, he's written throughout the volume of the book. And you read the exact same thing in the book of Hebrews chapter 10.
Absolutely.
So this whole Bible was written about Christ. So if you cut off the Old Testament, then you're denying yourself of knowing who Christ is.
Absolutely. And an example we always use too when we're on the streets, when we're teaching, to bring in and to break that vain imagination that's stuck in the mind of our people is your life. The perfect example. This is a scenario. You're dying, okay, gunshot wound, whatever it is, and you rush to the hospital to get what? Medical attention to possibly save your life, right? You're laying down, the doctor gives you a warning. Listen, I'm only an intern here, okay? I'm only an intern. I haven't graduated yet. I'm halfway done with the course, okay? But I'm just an intern. Will you put your life in that person's hand? Yes or no? Your life is on the line. They say, listen, I know a couple of, I didn't fully master the sewing up the wounds, pulling it out. I didn't master that yet. I'll get into that next week. All right? We only got the neosporin laid up in the gauze. Would you lay your life down on ready to go? Would you do it? No. We know the answer. Come on, no. You know you wouldn't do that. So why would you put your life in the hand of people who base their whole theology, doctrine on half of the Bible? Right. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? And that's what Christianity is. Modern Christianity do that. That's exactly what they'll do. They'll base their whole theology, and they have the lives of our people in their hand, and then they'll say, listen, all you got to do is just put this from Matthew to Revelation. That's it. Right. That's all you need. I remember when I was in a Christian church, I asked that question too. Where do I start? Oh, all you need is Matthew, Luke, and John. You're all right. Matthew, Luke, Mark. That's all you need. Just read that. Don't waste your time with Revelation. It's too much. We'll get there when we get there. They don't have that understanding. Give me that in Daniel's or Isaiah, excuse me. Isaiah, shooting off the hip, y'all. 28.
Oh, how to read it?
Yeah. Hold on. 29, excuse me. Start at 29, verse 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
Deep sleep. Why? Because we chose to do it our way. We wanted to do it like the other nations, their fashions. Remember, we read in Psalms 1, right? The blessed is the brother or sister that does not walk in the same fashion or direction of the ungodly, but we chased after the other nation's fashion. Read that.
For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
This is the result. Read.
And have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers.
He closed the eyes of the prophets and your rulers. Read.
The seers.
The seers were the prophets. Come on.
Hath he covered.
Come on.
And the visions of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed.
Words of a book that have been sealed. You don't need that Old Testament. You don't need the laws. You don't need it. Read.
Which man delivered to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee.
Come on.
And he saith, I cannot.
They can't. They'll tell you that. And I had pastors tell me that. No, that part is sealed, brother. They understand it is. No, you got to wait till Christ. They understand it's not there. Read.
For it is sealed.
For it's sealed. Read.
And the book is delivered to him that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee.
Come on.
And he saith, I am not learned.
I am not learned. Why aren't you learned? Why? Because give me Psalms. Hold that. Psalms 111 and 10. This is the reason why they are not learned.
The book of Psalms, chapter 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
You hear that? If you want good understanding, you must first have the fear of the Lord. You must have. You want wisdom, you gotta have. It says, read that top part again.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Once you have that respect and honor and say, listen, I need to do what the Lord said. My father asked me to do something, I need to do it. That's the first step of wisdom. Just by default, by you saying that, all right, and making that effort to seek out what pleases the Lord. Lord's already, you know what? this person, my son and my daughter, truly, they see me now. They see me. So I could begin to work with them. I could begin to entrust them with wisdom. Read.
A good understanding have all they that do.
That what?
That do.
Again, our people, they reject this thing. Do what?
His commandments.
His commandments. So that what does that say about these pastors and these prophets that's out there? They have no wisdom. They have no understanding. They are not learned. Read.
His praise endureth forever.
Read. Go back now, Isaiah. You had something?
When we read the definitions and we were reading synonyms like ungodly and immoral, well, God gave us over to an immoral people, and then they set up these schools. We go to those schools to learn from them. They don't fear the Lord, so they don't teach you to fear the Lord. So how are you going to have a good understanding of the Bible?
There was a precept in Baruch that brought there. You have that one in Baruch?
Baruch 2 and 12.
Yeah.
If they don't treat you right, they can't teach you right. You got it, Baruch? I got it.
I got it.
Okay.
The book of Baruch, chapter 2 and verse 12.
12 and 13.
O Lord our God, we have sinned. We have done ungodly. We have dealt unrighteously in all thine ordinances. Let thy wrath turn away from us. Turn from us. For we are but a few left among the heathen, where thou hast scattered us.
Go ahead. Elaborate on that.
So when it says we have sinned, we have done ungodly. We read the basic definition for sin, breaking God's commandments. So our forefathers understood how we left our heritage. Our forefathers understood why we suffer like we are. But we as a nation, or we as individuals, because Christianity teaches individualism. Right. I don't know if that's an actual word. But and not nationhood, which is why we don't care about the rest of our people. We might think we're blessed, but we don't see the condition of our own people as mattering to us. That's why we try to include everybody.
There you go. That's the point. We have been thoroughly destroyed. Now, during our destruction, in the midst of our decay, our enemies they put all their chips in to the point where they know, wait a minute, let's see if our destruction has worked. So they'll look and they'll push these doctrines in hopes that we have forgotten and are well disconnected from our heritage.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. Okay? So that's how, this is a spiritual warfare. They physically divided and conquered us, pinned us against each other, okay? Southern Kingdom versus Northern Kingdom, blacks against Hispanics. You see that happening all the time. But now spiritually, they've done it as well, okay? That's why you have those labels, Pentecost. Can we get that picture of all the forefathers of the man-made abominations that's destroying the minds of our people? See if you can find that for me, right? So you're going to see some of the devices set up and laid eggs in the minds of our people right now. Because they'll say the same thing. They'll parrot the same doctrine of our oppressors.
That's right.
You'll see that. Give me Baruch 4 and 15. Jump to 4 and 15.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 15. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation.
A what?
A shameless nation.
A shameless nation. We are under a shameless nation who devise laws against our God, ungodly laws, devilish laws. So when we call a so-called white man the devil, okay, it's not by accident. God said it is. Look at that. Here we go. Read that.
Man-made religion.
Man-made religions. Read.
John Smith.
Here we go. Most of our people are knee deep in this.
Created the Baptist religion.
Created the Baptist religion. So if you're a Baptist, you under a shameless nation, a shameless doctrine. Go ahead.
In 1608.
Here we go.
Charles Parham created the Pentecostal religion.
The Pentecostal religion. So if you under the branch of Pentecostal, you are under a shameless doctrine. Okay? It's man-made. It is not of God. Read.
In 1901.
Here we go.
Joseph Smith.
Here go another devil riding up on, have they, what they call it? the minions up and down and bicycles. You see them everywhere. They're
all
even in
up
Haiti.
In our neighborhood.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Created the Mormon religion.
Created the Mormon religion. So if you're a Mormon, who is that? Gladys Knight? Is she under that still?
I think, yeah.
She's
still
under
was
that?
her.
Oh, man. I like her music, too. Go ahead.
In 1830, Charles Taze Russell.
Come on.
Created the Jehovah Witness.
So if you're a Jehovah Witness, guess what? You're under a shameless doctrine. Go ahead.
Religion in 1872.
There we go. So all these, and then look at the timeline. Right. So they had enough time to lay those eggs, beat it in our minds. All right? And then here you go. This is the end result. Read. What's the next one?
William Miller.
Come on.
Created the Seventh-day Adventist
Another
religion.
shameless religion. So if you call yourself a Seventh-day Adventist, all right, you're under a shameless doctrine. All right, back to the scripts. Back to the scripts. Remember, man-made religion. Go ahead.
And Cat, we wasn't free during these times.
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's why we back to the scripts.
Right.
Back to the scripts. Remember in Jeremiah, I don't want you to forget the point. We were disconnected from our heritage and put up under our enemies, right? Read.
Isaiah?
I know. Baruch.
Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
For he have brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation.
Come on.
And of a strange language,
Read.
which neither revered old man nor pitied child.
Right. They dropped our babies off the buildings. All right. They fed our elderly to dogs to rip them apart. Read.
These have carried away the dear beloved children.
The dear beloved children is who? The Israelites. Us. Read.
Of the widow, and left her that was alone, desolate, without daughters.
You see that? Read.
But what can I help you?
Uh-huh.
For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies.
That if we hold strong and hold fast to what has been taught, the law, statutes, and commandments, with the faith of Christ, the Lord says he will deliver us. That's the end result. All we got to do is master this. Master this. Hold fast to it. Meditate day and night. All right? Proverbs 4 and 1. Proverbs 4 and 1. We almost there. We're going to get to it soon.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 1.
Uh-huh. You're going to read down to verse 2. Hold on, let me get there with you. Go ahead.
Hear ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding.
See that? Instructions of a father. Read.
For I give you good doctrine.
Pay close attention now. Good doctrine. Definition of doctrine. Definition of doctrine.
Doctrine, a belief or set of beliefs held and taught by a church, political party, or other group.
All right, a belief or set of beliefs. Okay, read on. Keep on reading.
Similar. Creed, credo, dogma, belief, conviction.
Read the second one now. Go down.
A stated principle of government policy.
A stated what?
Principle of government policy.
Of government policy. That's what doctrine is. That's what the Bible is all based on. All right? A state of principle of government policy. Read.
Mainly in foreign or military affairs.
Right. Because remember, God called us what? His army.
Right.
Coming out of Egypt.
That's right.
Give me my army. Because the Lord was building what? His government. He wanted to establish his government. In order for him to do that, he had to destroy that wicked government that held us. And it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. Right? What I got here? I got doctrine. Branch of knowledge or system of belief, fundamental government policies, a principle of law established through past decisions, military principles, a set of strategies, right? We're going to get that. Give me that in, hold on here. Give me that book. I think I sent you the book. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let me look at what I sent you first before you pull that up. Hold on. Bear with me, y'all.
Hey, can I
go ahead.
Get Numbers 1 and 3. to back up the point. This is us coming out of Egypt. Numbers 1 and 3, officer.
The book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 3. From 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel.
All that are able to go forth to war. Because remember, the Lord is a man of war. Right. Go ahead.
Thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies.
By what?
By their armies.
That's what Captain was just bringing out. When we came out, he considered us his host or his armies. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Oh, that's it. That's all. Okay. That's all I wanted right there. So we came out in an orderly fashion. When you read through the laws, even the way we set up and we moved according to tribes or armies. Okay, so the Lord is all about order, and he gave us order when we came up out of Egypt. And that's what he's doing now. He's setting us back in order.
That's right. Okay, so give me that book. Give me page. First, give me the title of the book. Okay, I'll pull up the pic. I don't know if I sent the cover. Did I send you the cover of the book? Oh, I don't think I sent it to you, huh?
Which one?
Go ahead, read that.
What you got?
Give me the title of the book. The title of the book is called what? The Handbook.
The Handbook of Bible Law.
There we go.
Biblical laws, principles, and guidelines for the individual, family, society.
Right. So now this is a handbook of laws, of Bible law. Now, how much that costs right there? What is that price up there?
$920 plus shipping.
Okay, $920. We're going to find out why. Open up the book.
By Charles Wiseman.
Charles Wiseman is the same one that wrote, what's the name of that book? Who
is Esau?
Who is Esau? He's the one who wrote that book. All right? And watch Deacon Ithon's class. He thoroughly goes into that. Okay? Yeah, read that for me. Page 10.
Page 10. Benefit to the nation.
Take that down. You can take that down. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can send this to you. Orlando, right? I'm sending this to Orlando. Hold on.
$920. Hey, they don't even give you $900 for your stimulus check so that you can get the book.
Damn. You got to pay $13 in shipping.
Right. Right.
Bear with me, y'all.
Hey, while you read that, while you looking for that, Cap, I'm gonna read something out of Babylon and Timbuktu to back up what the Cap brought out earlier too about our heritage. I'm gonna read from page 123 and 124. It says the Hebrew religion is such that if you deny your religion, you will eventually deny your nationality. The sociologists and psychologists know, and history has proven that if you deny your culture and nationality over a long period of time, you will totally forget it through a process of assimilation.
There you go.
And that's why we had those man-made religions.
There we go. There we go. And they remember, our enemies have well invested in that right there.
Yes.
They invested in that we would be thoroughly destroyed or absorbed in their doctrine, right? Okay, read that. This is the cover of the book, which costs $920 now. Okay, go ahead, read what you got. Read page 10.
Benefit to the nation. The Bible actually conveys more of a national message than a personal one.
Now, read that part again.
The Bible actually conveys more of a national message than a personal one.
A national message. What nation? Remember, national. It's nation. It's a nation message. To which nation? Let's get it. Let's find out which nation.
The national message is intended to show a nation the proper policy it is to follow regarding the manner of laws.
Okay, now go to Deuteronomy. Let's see where I want to start at. Verse, let me see, chapter, where I want to go. Start at Deuteronomy 4 and 1. That's the one. 4 and 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel.
Which nation?
O Israel.
Read.
Unto the statutes and unto the judgments.
Come on.
Which I teach you.
So it was contained? Statutes and judgments. Statutes and judgments. Read.
For to do them.
To do what?
To do them.
Come on.
That ye may live.
That you may live and not die. Read.
And go in and possess the land.
You see that? That was the benefits of us keeping and holding fast the commandments of God. Eventually we would what? Our nation would take over the other nations. Not to early destroy them, but to make sure that the opinion of God, the facts of God would have the dominion of the earth. I'm going to make this statement. This world, this planet will not have peace until the laws of God are in full control of this planet.
That's right.
You need to understand that. All right? All of those man-made religions, they need to understand that. These nations fear that thing. They know there will not be no peace on earth until the rightful rulers are backed up with the laws of God, the doctrines of God are on this planet. There will not be no peace on earth. No. Okay? So right now, that lets you know that the so-called white man that claimed to be a Jew, all right, there's no peace on earth because he's in power right now. He's running the earth. But is there peace on earth? That's the question you need to ask. If truly the God people are in power right now, right, there should be what? Peace on earth. Right. But there is no peace on earth right now. Read that. Read.
Verse 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments, which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live, and go in and possess the land which the Lord God of your fathers giveth you.
Verse 2.
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you.
Don't do it. Christianity does that. Okay? They add on to it. When the laws come out about man shall not lie with man, they let you know, wait a minute, that doesn't mean that. Right. That's dealing with hospitality. When you bring up the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, no, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be homosexual. It was just dealing with hospitality. I heard that crap.
During that time. It was
during that time. Right. The scripture says, ye shall not what?
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you.
Come on.
Neither shall ye diminish out from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you.
Jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5.
And you're going to read this at verse 6.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them.
Keep therefore and do it. Read.
For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
In the sight of the other nations. Because why? The Israelites are the chief nation, the chosen nation, right? Now go back to the book. Go back to the book. That's what Esau knows about us, right? Read.
The Bible actually conveys more of a national message.
A national message, meaning that chosen nation, which is us, read.
Than a personal one.
Come on.
The national message is intended to show a nation the proper policy.
The proper what?
The proper policy.
So the Bible is our what? Policy. It contains our policies. Read.
It is to follow regarding the manner of laws.
Manner of laws.
Justice.
Justice is found in the Bible. Read.
Government.
Government found in the Bible.
Economics.
Economics is found in the Bible.
And foreign relations it is to possess.
You know why this is important? Because I forget the brother's name. He was on the Breakfast Club and he was pushing black economics. Right. Black economics. The reason why we are a decaded state is because of lack of black economics. That's only one. That's only one point. And a lot of people built, their whole structural organization based on black economics, so on and so forth. But that's just one key point. Remember, the Bible has that already. You wanted to bring something?
No, go ahead.
The Bible has that. It has that. That's just one key point. We missing government. We missing justice amongst each other. Read on.
If a nation follows God's law, that nation will stand out as a great nation.
Go back to the scriptures and read it again.
Right.
Read it again. We're going to get the proof is in the pudding.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6.
Come on.
Keep therefore and do them.
And do them, read.
For this is your wisdom and understanding.
This is your wisdom and understanding. Read.
In the sight of the nations.
The sight of who?
Of the nations.
The other nations. Read.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Surely this nation is a wise. That nation right there that God chose surely is a wise and understanding nation. Okay, we're going to get an example of that. Give me that in 1 Kings. 1 Kings. We're going to get it. 4. Verse 29.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 4 and verse 29. And God gave Solomon wisdom.
God gave Solomon wisdom, the king of Israel. Read.
And understanding.
And what?
And understanding.
Read.
Exceeding much, and largeness of heart.
Read.
Even as the sand that is on the sea seashore.
Mm-hmm.
And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children.
Hold up. It said it excelled. Read.
Excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country.
It excelled the children of the other nations. Read.
And all the wisdom of Egypt.
Come on.
For he was,
and that's a cut to Egyptology.
Right.
So if you caught up in that nonsense, that trash, listen, the Bible just cut that in half. And guess what? These man-made religions won't tell you that. They won't show you that. They want to be all inclusive. No matter your background, we're all one in Jesus.
Right.
Read.
Verse 31. But he was wiser than all men, than Ethan, than Ezrahite, and Heman, and Chakar, and Darda, the sons of Mahal.
Mm-hmm.
And his fame was in all nations round about.
His fame was where?
In all nations round about.
Why? Because the Lord gave him wisdom and understanding. So it was sought out by all the other heathen nations. Keep up with me, camera crew. Come on, read.
Verse 32. And he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005.
Read.
And he spake of trees.
What is that called? Botany, right?
Mm-hmm.
Read.
From the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall.
Come on.
He spake also of beasts.
Beasts, what is that? Zoology. So he had that understanding that. Right. So we under a base nation that's putting up with National Geographics, right. Okay, putting cameras up the rectum of animals. But our forefathers already had the answers for that. They understood this manner of beasts.
And they tag everything that they catch, and then they spend years tracking them.
Read.
He spake also of beasts, and of fowl, and of creeping things.
Birds, and of creeping things. Come on.
And of fishes.
Mm-hmm.
And there came of all people.
You got to stress that point. Read it again.
And there came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon from all kingdoms of the earth.
Hold up. All what? Read that again. You read it wrong.
From all kings.
All kings. All kings of other nations. Come on.
Of the earth.
Uh-huh.
Which had heard of his wisdom.
You see that? They came from everywhere.
That's right.
To seek out the wisdom, the judgments, all right, and understanding that came from our forefathers.
You know, when you show those religions and you just bring that out, Cap, that shows just how fearful they are of us returning back to that.
There we go.
Because they're trying to blind us with these religions, these false gods, because they know they learn from us, and when they learn from us, they're back in subjection.
That's their whole thing. That's another part of their trickery, or the devilish ways. All right, they knew exactly where that main source of understanding came from. So what they do is, you know what? We're gonna rob them, pillage them, take them from that wisdom, that shining light, and then we're gonna pretend we are the ones who came up with it. Right. Okay, that's evil as hell. That's evil. Okay. All right. Well, we back to the book. Let's bring the book back up. Okay.
Benefit to the nation. It says, if a nation follows God's law, that nation will stand out as a great nation.
That nation will stand out as a great nation. Read.
Page 11. The laws of God will prevail.
Switch it up. Come on. Keep up with me. Page 11. No, that's not it. That's not it.
Laws of God is purple.
Hold on. Stand by. Let me see if I sent that to you. Here we go.
Hey, while he gets that, hey, Brute, can you jump over to Mark 12 and 28 and 29? Because, you know, our people in Christianity scream about it's only two laws. It's two laws, right? But we read earlier that the Lord would close their eyes or put a deep sleep on them, right? Read that right quick.
The book of Mark, chapter 12 and verse 28. And one of the scribes came.
So the scribes, as we learned, is somebody that what? They're the ones that are documenting everything. Go ahead.
And having heard them reasoning together and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all?
So this is what our people cry about. There's only two great commandments, right? Go ahead.
And Jesus answered him, the first of all, the commandment is, hear, O Israel.
Hear who?
O Israel.
Hear, O Israel. Why does it say hear all people? That's why this book is $900.
There you go.
Because they know exactly who these commandments are for. That's all we needed right there.
Go ahead, get that, page 11. Page 11. All right, blow that up. Read that for me.
The laws of God will prevail above all other systems.
Listen. Read it again.
The laws of God.
The laws of God, the statutes, the judgments. Read.
Will prevail above all other systems.
Will prevail above what?
All other systems.
That's why this Babylon the Great makes it their business to teach and push. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to. No, we got a better system for you. Okay, it's lined up in the what is it? The Constitution of the United States. Right? If this truly was a God-fearing nation, right? They would have the Bible wide open and mirror themselves after it to the T. There's no way we should have homosexual laws being pushed. All right? No, catering to things that are against, ungodly, right? Corrupt, devilish, evil. I hope you highlighted those words for the definition of ungodly. Read.
The laws of God will prevail above all other systems of law that man can devise, as being the most effective and just.
You see that? Most effective and just. Read.
A great many blessings are promised to those nations that adhere to the precepts of God.
Right. So those other nations, the reason why they ran to Solomon to learn this, because they wanted what? Peace on earth. They want peace on earth. They said, man, let's go to these Israelites. Let's learn this. There's peace there. Let's learn what they got. But it wasn't for them. It was always for us. Read.
Such as rain in due season, abundant harvest, peace in the land, and a thriving economy.
So economics is here, right? Found in our Bible, found in our heritage. Come on, is that it on that? Jump down to by a principle. Read that for me. Same page. Go down right here, right there. All of history.
All of history shows that there is no other authority that a nation can rely on. Read. The Bible shows the problems with a people of a nation walk after their own thoughts.
They walk after their own thoughts, doing their own thing. Read.
And in effect, rebel against God.
That's what happens. A nation that is not founded and built on the laws of God, remember, you will not win this battle. You will be overcome by the other nations. Why? Because you're not empowered by the commandments of God. Read the next one now. Divine law is perpetual.
Divine law is perpetual. When the laws, commandments, statutes, and judgments were revealed by God through Moses, the intent was that they were always to be kept.
Come on.
And were to be observed forever.
For how long?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
Forever. 2021 is still supposed to be kept. Read.
A rather recent doctrine, which theologians...
Which who?
Theologians and preachers...
And preachers, your TD Jakes, Creflo Dollars. Come on.
...have been espousing is that the laws laid down in the Old Testament were only a temporary arrangement.
Were only what?
A temporary arrangement.
That was never of God. That was never of God. Hold on, I got a video. Speaking of Creflo Dollar. Did I send that to y'all? Let me send this to you. I want you to play this video. Here we go. I just sent it to y'all. Play that for me. Make sure we don't get shut down, y'all. So you know what you got to play.
When it says forever, for those of our brothers and sisters that don't understand how to read the Bible, a lot of times it'll say throughout their generations.
Right. Here we go.
To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. It is because there is no light in them. It is because there is no light in them. Here go the formula.
You need that.
The devil is not trying to get you to sin. He's just trying to get you to keep the law. Because if he can get you to keep the law, you will sin. The devil is not trying to get you to sin. He's just trying to get you to keep the law. Because if he can get you to keep the law, you will sin. And what many people think, they think Satan's trying to get you to sin. And what many people think, they think Satan's trying to get you to sin. And what many people think, they think Satan's trying to get you to sin.
Yeah. Start that real quick. With the Christmas tree in the back. With a big Christmas tree in the back. We're going to get into it. That's part of our categories of law. That's our ceremonial law. We're going to get it. Don't worry. Go ahead.
And Satan's trying to tempt you to do this or to do that. No. All he's trying to get you to do is to keep the law. All he's trying to get you to do is to keep the law. All he's trying to get you to do is to keep the law.
All right, that's it on that. So there you go. There you go. This is back to the book. Go back to the book. Read that part again.
A rather recent doctrine.
Recent doctrine.
Which theologians.
Which is Creflo Dollar.
And preachers have been espousing is that the laws laid down in the Old Testament were only a temporary arrangement.
Come on.
And that the advent of Jesus Christ made them null and void.
Read the orange highlights.
This false doctrine.
This what?
Wow. False doctrine.
False doctrine. It's a false doctrine, y'all. Read.
Has a great appeal to the carnal nature of man.
A lot of our people are caught up in this false doctrine. We read what the doctrine of God is, right? In Proverbs 4:1. I hope you was taking notes. Right? We read that. Get that in what you got? Ezekiel.
I got it. Ezekiel 22:26. It says, her priests have violated my law.
Priests have violated my law. Come on.
And have profaned my holy things.
Come on.
They have put no difference between the holy
The holy are the commandments of God, which God says to reverence, to make very important. Read.
And profane.
Come on.
Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean.
Read.
And have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths. And I am profaned among them.
And that's what happens when we begin to teach the laws and the testimonies of Jesus Christ, when we begin to make the things that are holy to God important, our people say, no, no, no. They have a false doctrine embedded in their brain. And it's our job, brothers and sisters, to stand firm on the laws and statutes of God and to teach our people. We cannot be moved. We can't show bad examples, okay? The way we show our people is through our examples. It's called, what's that word? Integrity. Your word and your deeds are the same or is one, all right? From there, give me where I wanted to go to. Oh, back to the book. Go it up. Finish that up.
This false doctrine has a great appeal to the carnal nature of man, as it relieves him of responsibility.
Of what?
As it relieves him of responsibility.
I don't know why I didn't highlight that part and underline it. Read.
Allowing him to completely act according to his will.
To whose will?
His will. Rather than the will of God.
You see what happens? That's what that false doctrine teaches us. Proverbs 14:12. That's what that false doctrine teaches you. That the theologians and the pastors are teaching. Making no difference between the things that are holy, all right, sacred unto God, right, and the things that are unclean, profaned. That's what happens. And we encounter that day and night with our people that are stuck in darkness. Go ahead, read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 2. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord.
No, 14 and 12.
Excuse me. Verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
Those man-made doctrines, which is not of God. Read.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
You see that? The end result, you are against God, who is the keeper of life and death. So you at odds with who? You at odds with God. Right? So now let's jump into it. Psalm 78 and 5. Psalm 78 and 5. Psalm 78.
The book of Psalm, chapter 78 and verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob.
He established a testimony in Jacob. Read.
And appointed a law in Israel.
In where?
In Israel.
Only Israel has that. Read.
Which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children.
So that's our duty as parents as well. All right, we have to make sure we make this knowledge, this understanding, the judgments known to our children. That's your duty as a parent. Uncle, grandfather, grandmother, that's your duty. You understand this, the statute, you understand your heritage, now you have to teach your children. Life and death weighs in a balance based on that. Go ahead.
So that's the responsibility.
There we go.
Right there for what you just read.
Absolutely.
That we lack.
There we go. Go back, read.
For he established a testimony in Jacob.
Remember, establish. The word establish. Give me that real quick. Establish.
Yeah, this is a wicked and demonic system we are under.
Yeah.
It's a diabolical.
Devilish. Go ahead. Establish.
Set up, establish, set up an organization, system, or set of rules.
What?
On a firm or permanent basis.
So when you have these theologians, these pastors teaching contrary to the doctrines of God that was established in Israel, listen, that's what happens. You need to know that it was already established in Jacob, in Israel. And going against that, you're rocking the foundation of God. You're not standing on solid foundation. Go ahead. Finish up 78.
Verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob.
Come on.
And appointed a law in Israel.
Read.
Which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children.
Read.
That the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children.
You see that? They need to arise and declare it to their children. Read.
Verse 7. That they might set their hope in God and not forget the works of God.
Not forget the works of God. Read.
But keep his commandments.
You see that? But keep his commandments. That was supposed to be established for generation after generation. Okay? Give me 1 Peter's 1 and 13. You're going to read down to verse 16. Okay? Establish. Establish what? His government. Okay? It was first established in Israel.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind.
Gird up the loins of your mind. Prepare your mind. Read.
Be sober.
Be sober. Undistracted. Right? Come on.
And hope to the end for the race that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ.
Read.
As obedient children.
As what?
Obedient children.
As what?
Obedient children.
Obedient children. Obedience to what? The commandments of God. You commanded to do that. Prepare your mind. How do you prepare your mind? Meditate day and night. Be sober, right? Undistracted, because this system, you got an app for every sin you could think of, is right here on your phone. Said, don't be distracted by that. On your television, right? There's sins or distractions set up to keep you away from your heritage. Okay? Lust, that's another big thing. We have a series called Hooks of Satan. Go over it. Idleness, doubt. These things are distractions that'll keep you away from girding up the loins of your mind. Read on.
As obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance.
Read.
Verse 15. But as he which hath called you is holy.
The one that called you into this is holy, right? Set apart. Most made more important in the eyes of God. Read.
So be ye holy.
So likewise ye need to be holy. Read.
In all manner of conversation.
In your conversation, come on.
Because it is written.
Because it's what?
It is written.
Where is it written at? Where is it written? Read.
Be ye holy, for I am holy.
I don't know how many times Christ had to reiterate this over and over. You got to be a carbon copy of me. Walk like how I walked. Keep the same commandments I kept. And we're going to go over it. We're going to go over it. Don't worry. All right, we still got some time. You can drop that. Deuteronomy 20 and 10. All right? Deuteronomy 20 and 10. We're going to get just a glimpse of our military laws that we had in place. Right. Okay? Remember, we were a nation, army of the Lord. Give me that. Deuteronomy 20 and 10. You're going to read down to verse 13.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20 and verse 10. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it.
To fight against it, right? Because those nations was full of sin, right? Mad abominations was being done in those nations. So God said, listen, their time is up. I declared you, I established you as my government, my nation. Go forth and conquer. Read.
Then proclaim peace unto it.
Go ahead and proclaim peace on it. Hey, listen, we want peace on the earth, and this was our captains, our generals, going forth to conquer these nations. It says first declare peace on that nation, right? Speak to them in a peaceful manner. Talk to them. Hey, listen, we want peace on the planet. Our God is establishing his government on this planet. Your actions is in the way. Read.
And it shall be, if it make the answer of peace.
Come on.
And open unto thee.
And it opens up to thee, meaning they accept you, they welcome you in, they're in full agreement, right, with the laws of God. Read.
Then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries.
They shall be what?
Tributaries.
They shall be tributaries. Right now, we under shameless nations that we are tributaries to.
That's right.
Why? Because we neglected God's commandments. Our heritage. Read.
Unto thee, and they shall serve thee.
They were supposed to serve us. Read.
And if it will not make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it.
Thou shalt besiege it. Read.
And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thine hands.
I want you to realize that. Said the Lord, and y'all got this already. Right. Y'all confirmed. So I want y'all to be the nice guy at first. Hey, listen, hey, we want peace, but we want a peace on our planet. And you in the way with your actions. You defy your traditions, your laws, your policies contradicts our God's policy. So we here to make sure things roll peacefully. So you with it, get with it, or just lay down. Read.
Verse 13. And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thine hand.
Because that's what's going to happen. He will deliver it, and he has over and over. Read.
Thou shalt smite every male.
They got to go. Read.
Thereof with the edge of the sword.
You see that? That was the consequences of those nations that rejected the government of God. And it's coming again. It's happening again. You've seen the army of the Lord being rebuilt. But what happened? That army must be solidified with the commandments of God. We need that structure. We need that discipline. And that's all found in the government of God, the doctrine of God, which is the Holy Bible, right? Job 36 and 10. All right.
Let's show you the Christian don't read the Bible.
Yeah,
because he's pronouncing death, and the only way there's going to be peace is with us ruling.
There you go. Come on.
The book of Job, chapter 36 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
He openeth also their ear to discipline.
He opened up their ears to discipline. Read.
And commandeth.
And did what?
And commandeth.
Read.
That they return from iniquity.
You see that? He opens up their ears to discipline. Our people have no discipline. Right. Those shootings happening left and right, that's lack of discipline. Right. Lack of God's commandments. All right? Our sisters being filling up the child support line, lack of discipline. AIDS clinic, outrageous numbers. Abortion clinic, outrageous numbers. Lack of discipline. Okay? Read.
Verse
11.
11. Mm-hmm. If they obey and serve him.
If they what?
Obey and serve him.
Read.
They shall spend their days in prosperity.
You will be prosperous. But why T.G. Jakes and them not pushing that?
Right.
That means they have no discipline. Their ears is not open to the discipline which was commanded. Read.
And their years in pleasures.
And their years in pleasure. No worries. You could remember what's his name? Michael Moore did a documentary, Bowling for Columbine, where he showed he went to Canada and he showed that was years ago. Went to Canada, he showed like the people were actually leaving their doors unlocked because the laws of the gun laws was very serious. They took all the guns out. The only person who was allowed to have guns was law enforcement. People were so comfortable and safe, right? He actually tested the theory out where people in Canada was leaving their doors wide open. And he went to each door, boom, and they were unlocked. And people were like, hey, you all right? Everything's okay? Yeah, no, we're just testing out this theory. And he went and investigated and showed that it was because of the gun law that they enforced in Canada. It was very serious, right? So they took out the guns. There was even videos of them burning mass amount of guns, right? So this is showing you discipline. That's what these laws have. This is one of the main ingredients, and it's supposed to be seen amongst us. Discipline. Read verse 12.
Verse 12. But if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword.
And that's what's happening. We can see that clear as day. Perish for not what? Not obeying. Okay? From there, Wisdom of Solomon. Oh, finish that up. Go ahead.
And they shall die without knowledge.
He shall die without knowledge. Read verse 13 too.
Verse 13. But the hypocrites in heart heap up wrath.
They what?
Heap up wrath.
They heap up wrath, meaning they stir it up. They make God angry. He's vexed. Drive by here. Cancer. AIDS. Okay? Jealous baby daddy. Crazy baby mother. Okay? You're getting tossed out of your parents' house for disrespect. You're homeless now. Shelter to shelter. House to house. You see that? You stirring up wrath. Read.
They cry not when he bindeth them.
Okay. No. Read verse 14.
Verse 14. They die in youth.
They die in their youth. They die young. Damn, he was young. 13, 20, locked up. Lose their whole life.
And their life is among the unclean.
Their life is among the unclean, the other nations that embedded that theory into them to go against the commandments of God. Okay? Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17. How much time I got?
It say they die in youth.
They die in youth.
The first commandment with promise is honoring your father and mother.
We're going to get into that. We got that coming up next. No, that's all right. You in the spirit. Remember, when you're keeping the commandments of God, Esau had a movie, Star Wars. when you're keeping the commandments of God and you're in tune with the laws, you are part of that force. When you watch the movie, it tells you, hey, the force is strong in this one, or use the force. Well, God is letting you know, keep the commandments and meditate day and night so you can stay in the spirit. Staying in the spirit meaning you're keeping the commandments of God. You're keeping the disciplines of God. You're in tune with the force. And we experience this all the time where you hear the bishops and the deacons, they'll teach classes. They'll be back to back on the same topic, right, moving in the same spirit. Then later on, you'll hear a captain teach the same class, right? They didn't even see the other's class till way later. Why? Because they are in tune with the force. They're in tune with the spirit of God. They're in tune with the discipline. So the Lord's saying, okay, I'm going to use you. I'm going to use you. I'm going to use you. Go. Y'all going to speak my disciplines to the people. They need it. Go ahead. Where we was at? Oh, Wisdom of Solomon, 6 and 17. You're going to read down at verse 18.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
Is the desire of what?
Of discipline.
He is serious about that. He's not playing games. Discipline. And our people who stuck in Christianity, all right, they're getting jacked up because they have no discipline, right? Read.
And the care of discipline is love.
And the care of discipline, making that valuable in your life, making it holy, is what?
Is love.
Is love. Read.
And love is the keeping of her laws.
The keeping of what?
Of her laws.
Laws. Read.
And the giving heed unto her laws.
Giving heed. Read.
Is the assurance of incorruption.
Meaning you will not fall away and be disconnected from the force or the spirit. You will be guaranteed. It says, read that last part again. Is the assurance and the giving heed.
And the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption.
You will not be destroyed. You won't be spoiled by false doctrines. Okay, read.
And incorruption maketh us near unto God.
You see that? And incorruption maketh us near unto God. Now you are called a friend of God, not an enemy. Right? James 4 and 4.
The book of James, chapter 4 and verse 4. Ye adulterers.
Ye adulterers. That's an immoral act. Immoral act, a violation of a moral law. Read.
An adulteress says, know ye not that the friendship of the world,
the friendship of the system of this world, America, all right, is what?
Is enmity with God.
Right. It's enmity against God. Their system, their policies are against our God. Read.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God.
Right. And we're going to go over how our people are knee deep in this with the categories of law. Right. So now here we go. What I need now. Page 45 in that book. Page 45 and 46. And then we're going to get into it.
Page 45. Law and justice.
Here we go. Start right there. Right. That's not it.
Nope. Page 45.
Page 45. Let me see. That's something. You can take that down. It's not it. That's something. I'll take a picture of it and send it to him again.
I'm going to read that again in that James 4 and 4.
Yeah, read that
But
again.
It says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of God. You have that yet? Because if not, I'm going to pull up a precept right quick.
Go ahead.
Get Psalms 94 and 20. Let's go into that friendship with the world. This system. All right. Psalms chapter 94, verse 20. I got it. It says, shall the throne of iniquity, that's this world, this system that we're under, this government that we're under, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? So are we supposed to be friends with those that set up laws against our God. But when you accept John 3:16 as meaning all people, that's exactly what happens to us.
Because we read earlier where the Lord was dealing with one nation. He imputed his commandments. He established his laws in Jacob, in Israel. No other nation. No other nation. I'm sorry. Sorry. Just fall in line. All right. Do what what's the name? For you heathens, this is just counsel for y'all. Just seek out the children of Israel. Seek out the wisdom of God, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. Fall in line. Prepare yourself. Because you will be, the government of God, the kingdom of God is coming in. All right? You can do whatever you want, run and hide in your caves. You could go ahead and take rockets out of space. But the statutes and commandments, the government of God is coming back on the planet. It will have full dominion on the earth. Yes. Okay? So enjoy it. Enjoy it now. God is coming soon. Christ is coming soon to establish his reign as the eternal king on the planet. Okay, back to the book. Back to the book.
Law and
Page
justice.
45.
All law and order, all societies rest upon some legal authority.
Some legal authority. Okay, read. And remember, how did they get it? We read that in 1 Kings 4. They all sought out the wisdom and understanding, the judgments from King Solomon, right? Read.
There must be a source or foundation for the laws and jurisprudence of a nation.
Come on.
Many different modes of law and justice have been devised.
Right? There's a lot of laws, right? You hear in Babylon the Great, you got thousands and thousands of laws, right? Read.
Yet after thousands of years of struggle along these lines, the world has failed
The world has what?
Failed.
They failed in trying to establish their law. Read.
To find any system of law and justice.
Law and justice, come on.
Which can compare with that which is taught in the Bible.
Where?
Which is taught in the Bible.
Right here. All the other systems, laws, they failed, right? Trying to compare it to what? Which is taught in the Bible, the main source, our book. Read.
Human legal systems come and go.
They come and go. Read.
And are continually in the process of reform and change.
Reform and change. They're trying to get it together. They're trying to get it right, but they can't because the main source is the Bible, our book. Read.
But the eternal principles of justice, truth, and righteousness,
read,
established by God for for man,
which is the Israelites, because it was established where? In Jacob, in Israel, all four parents. You read that in Psalms 78 and 5. Read.
Are unchanged.
Are what?
Are unchanged.
Are unchanged. So when you have these demons in their theological schools, in these man-made religions, they're letting you know God's is unchanged. But when they do, they go, they take the corrupt, devilish route, and they go contrary to God. That's why anybody found under that banner, you are an enemy of God. You teaching not to keep God's commandments, not to keep his disciplines. You are an enemy of God. Read on.
They have endured the test of times by way of their proven effectiveness.
Proven effective. Sirach 1 and 5. Proven effectiveness. Unchanging.
The book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus in the Bible, chapter 1 and verse 5.
We're reading out of Apocrypha. This is one of the books that was removed, called the Book of Secrets, right? Am I correct?
A hidden book.
The hidden book, excuse me. The hidden book. Read.
The word of God most high is the fountain of wisdom.
So every time you hear the word of God, it's going to explain what the word of God is. Read.
And her ways are everlasting commandments.
Are what?
Everlasting commandments.
So the word of God is everlasting, unchanging commandments. Okay? All right. We done. Go back to the book. Go back to the book.
We are
reform.
Human legal systems come and go and are continually in the process of reform and change. But the eternal principles of justice, truth, and righteousness established by God for man are unchanged. They have endured the test of time by way of their proven effectiveness.
Come on.
Thus, All equitable codes of jurisprudence are founded upon biblical teachings.
Biblical teaching. That's how you have the judicial system, right? Because they try to take it out of our source, our Bible, and then apply it to their system. Go ahead.
Upon biblical teachings and principles, and indeed must conform to them.
That's all I want. That's all I want. What's the next one? Verse. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's what I want. The Bible. Is that verse?
Still page 45?
Okay, still page 45. Drop down. I thought it was on the next page. Yeah, read that. Drop down. See if you can zoom in right there.
The Bible contains those precepts and commands which constitute the legal and moral authority.
Legal and moral authority.
To guide human conduct.
To what?
Guide human conduct.
Come on.
There is no doubtful authority contained in the words, "Thus saith the Lord."
Thus saith the Lord. Read. That's how you know what's about to come out next is very important. It's holy. Discipline is about to come out, right? Morality is about to come out. Read.
This is the authority. All law and justice must be founded.
Must be founded on. But is it? Two men can marry?
Right.
Is that founded on the authority of God, law and justice? Okay. We're getting gunned down and our oppressors are still reigning over us. They get to walk out free. Is that justice and law? We've been, remember, that law in Exodus, read that real quick. Exodus, you know what I want? 20, is it 21 and 16? Read that. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 16. He that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
You see that? So they still in violation. This land is still in violation of this law. They still have to pay. They have to pay with their lives. Okay? So they still in violation. We done with that? Verse 46? I mean,
page 45.
Page 45, excuse me.
On page 46.
Page 46 now. Read quick so we can get into it.
The Bible also contains many rules, regulations, and laws for the creation, maintenance, and enforcement of oaths and contracts, which are essential acts for both conducting daily business and in administering justice.
Administering justice. Conducting daily business and administering justice. Read.
Laws of biblical society held that one who had undertaken a duty or obligation in legal form must fully and exactly perform it at all regards.
You see that? Must fully and exactly perform it at all regards. Okay, let's jump into it now. Let's go to, give me the definition that I sent you, moral law. Okay? Moral law. No, not that one. I don't need that. Moral law. Here we go.
Moral.
Blow it up. Bring it down.
Adjective. Concerned with the principles of right and wrong behavior.
Concerned with the principles of right and wrong. That's what's contained. Moral laws. Read.
And the goodness or badness of human character.
Read. Go down.
Number 2.
Holding
or manifesting high principles for proper conduct.
You see that proper conduct is embedded in moral laws. Okay. Now let's play this video. Play that video. Play that video. We're gonna get an example of moral laws. Okay. Let's get that.
Right my arm.
Here we go. This is a violation of one of the moral laws. And I want you to stop. The reason why I'm showing this video is show you. Remember, we are under a shameless nation. A shameless nation. So they're going to show you shameless behavior. Okay? And remember, all oppressors constantly put our image up to destroy our character. So I'm going to show you right now where it stems from. Play that.
Right my arm. And that hurt. Look at me the right to strike me with your elbow.
Dude, the first time you went like that to me, I ignored it. And you jabbed me again.
I didn't jab
and I could see where it was going and what I said to you, and this was a word of warning.
Stop. This is a mother and her son, right? Their mother and a son, and this is the behavior of the son towards the mother. Go ahead.
I did not jab you. You jabbed me.
I was petrified, and what I said to you is physical acts of aggression get taken very seriously on an airplane. If you begin to get aggressive, they will put handcuffs on you.
I was getting your attention. I did this. I was tapping your arm with my elbow. I do it like that.
I had told you on more than one occasion that I wasn't putting the volume down.
Well, you know what? I kept asking because it was driving me crazy.
So then you decided to do this, and after the second one, I gave you one back as a way to say, stop it.
So you said that's enough?
Exactly.
No, yeah, you got my attention, but I'm not a dog.
So why don't you heed my suggestions of stop it when I ask politely?
Because you're not the complete boss of me. I control my body, I control what I do, and you don't have the right to hit me that hard. I lightly tapped your arm with my elbow. Stop, let me talk.
You hear that?
I lightly tapped your arm with my elbow.
Stop, let me talk.
To get your attention. Bam, right in my arm. It actually left a mark for about 20 minutes. About 20 minutes later, it was finally fading.
Backing up, you said you're not the boss of me. I am the boss of you. When a mother says to be quiet, she's the boss of you, and you need to listen to that. Bottom line,
I never said.
when a teacher says something, she's the boss of you, and you need to
Shut
listen.
up!
Told his mother to shut
Give
up.
me a turn to speak. Fine, see? You do that to me. How does it feel? How does it feel to be told to shut up?
We've talked about it.
Let me speak. How does that feel? How does that feel?
All right, that's it. That's all I want. Now let's go and dive into our moral law.
Let's get it.
Exodus 20 and 12. Read that.
The book of Exodus.
Violation of a moral law, moral behavior, right? Come on.
The Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12.
Come on.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Now let's see if Christ spoke on the same matter. Let's see if Christ did his own thing. Matthew 15 and 4.
That's right.
Matthew 15 and 4. Let's get that.
The book of Matthew chapter 15 and verse 4.
And you know another thing, Christians like to use this to say, wait a minute, did Christ not support this law of honor your father? Where do you think he was regurgitating from? He was getting it from Exodus 20 and 12. Read that.
Matthew 15 and 4.
Uh-huh.
For God commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother.
Honor thy father and mother. Come on.
And he that curses father or mother, let him die the death.
Now, what did this demon just do to his mother? This shameless nation, right? He went across the face of his own mother. Okay? Letting you know, moral law is not embedded in him. Moral law is not embedded in that nation. Let him die to death. That's what Christ said. Why? You jump up to verse 2 and read down.
Verse 2. Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders?
Traditions of the elders, doing their own thing. That's what the Pharisees and the scribes were doing. Read.
For they wash not their hands when they eat bread.
Come on.
But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God?
The commandment of God. Now we're diving into what? Moral law. This is one of the moral laws. Read.
By your tradition.
By your what?
By your tradition.
And we just saw one of the traditions of Esau right there. The children disrespecting the parents. And then later on, they want to make shows called The Nanny, right? On show, Dr. Phil shows to show us how to keep our moral law when the Lord already established that generations ago. Okay? But now they trying to flip it on us where they're saying, showing themselves to be that exalted nation, that wise nation. No. Don't fall for that. Modern Christianity is a perfect example that tactic has worked on our people. All right? You had something?
I just want to show that in Christ's time, the same thing was happening. I'm going to read it myself, make for time. John 11:47. Then they gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth miracles. If we thus let him alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. So
go.
Christ is saying you violating God's commandments
there you go.
for your traditions. We do the same thing under this shameless nation that was going on then.
Right. Yeah. We trim our ways to seek the love of the other nations, whether it sometimes it be our own family members. We trimming your ways, meaning you're going to cut back on your values, your morality, which is in the commandments of God, to seek the love or the approval of the those who are against God's commandments. You see that? Real quick, go to Sirach 3:7. All right, more on honor thy father and mother, moral law. Okay.
The book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus in the Bible, chapter 3 and verse 7.
You're gonna jump to 7.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
He that feareth the Lord will honor his father and will do service unto his parents.
Do service unto his parents. Remember, you are, as a child, you are a servant to your parents. Read.
As to his masters.
As they what?
As to his masters.
The Bible called them your master.
That's right.
Come on, read.
Verse 8. Honor thy father and mother, both in word and deed.
Word and deed. Word and deed. So that's why parents is important for you to bring them up in which word? The commandments of God. All right? Children, you must follow your God-fearing parents because it's a commandment of God. Moral law. That's a division of our laws. Okay, read.
That a blessing may come upon thee.
That a what?
A blessing may come upon thee.
Read.
From them.
Mm-hmm. Jump down to verse 12.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
My son, help thy father in his age.
This is for your brothers and sisters dealing with elderly parents. Read.
And grieve him not.
Start again.
My son, help thy father in his age.
In his old age. Read.
And grieve him not as long as he liveth.
Don't make him mad, because I know a lot of people have lack of patience for their parents when they get to that elderly age. Some of our elderly parents, like my mother, suffering from dementia. So you got to be very patient. She forget everything. She still thinks she's in New Jersey. Okay? Sometimes she'll be in Haiti at one point. I have to constantly, no, Mom, you here in Miami. You're in Florida. You sure? Okay, read.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And if his understanding fail.
If they understanding fail. At old age, that's what happened. What's that? Dementia, like I mentioned. It was another one. Alzheimer's get in. Okay, read.
Have patience with him.
The Lord said, have patience with them. Okay, have patience with them. Read.
And despise him not when thou art in thy full strength.
Because you in your full strength now. You are able to now to carry them back and forth. That's what I have to do. Pick my mom up, take her to the bathroom, prepare her bath, things like that. I have to do that. You have to be patient. That takes patience. Okay, my lunch break, I have to drive from my job to go warm up some food for my mother, because she's going blind too. She can't see the stove. She'll burn up the whole house. So I got to bring hot lunch for her. Okay, so it says be patient. Read.
Verse 14.
Come on.
For the relieving of thy father shall not be forgotten.
It won't be forgotten. You're not wasting your time. Read.
And instead of sins, it shall be added to build thee up.
You see that? It will build thee up. It will give you better character. Go ahead.
Verse 15.
Verse 15.
In the day of thine affliction, it shall be remembered.
God said, when you're going through your affliction, God said, I'm going to give you the relief because of what the good works you've been putting in. You've been tapping into the moral law. You honored and reverenced the things that I consider to be holy. Read.
Thy sins also shall melt away.
You see that? Your sins will be melted away. God's letting you know your works and your deeds is one and the same. Your obedience lies in you applying the moral commandments, the moral law. This is just one branch. This is one division, one category. You got 5, right? You had the sacrificial, you got the moral, you got the civil, ceremonial, dietary, right? This is one aspect. Later on, Lord's will, he permits, allow me to teach, we'll go into the civil law, ceremonial, and dietary. But right now, this is just the moral law. Is that it on that?
As the ice in the fair warm weather.
As the ice in the fair warm. Okay. Give me Matthew 5:17. Matthew 5:17.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17.
Okay.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
You see that? Don't take that thought out of your mind that that Christ came to do his own thing. That's the thing. A lot of people think Christ stepped on the earth. Now I'm about to do something new on the earth. No, Said, think not. Read it again.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Real. A lot of people get jacked up with that fulfill part. No, he's not come to do away with it. We'll go later on in the Lord's permit. We'll show you what he actually done away with. And if you've been watching, Deacon Ithon brought it out. Bishop brought it out. What is done away? You find that in Hebrews 9, Hebrews 10, the sacrificial law. Okay, read on.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
Till what?
All be fulfilled.
Read.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Moral law, civil law, okay? All these laws are intertwined one to together. They all say the same thing. They all mean the same thing. When you have moral law, it goes into civil law, okay? Because once you uphold the moral law, now you have a higher code of conduct. Now you know how to be civil with your neighbors, all right? You know how to be civil with your neighbors, but that's later on. Go ahead.
And shall teach man so.
And shall teach man so. Bad example. Read.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
And that means you will be forgotten. Lord will do away with you. Oblivion. Read.
But whosoever shall do and teach them.
Do and teach them. What? The commandments of God. The laws that Christ just said that he don't think that he came to destroy it. Give me that in John. John chapter 6 and 37. John 6, 37 and 38.
The book of John, chapter 6 and verse 37.
This is just the case if that thought of Christ came to do his own thing on the planet. Read that.
All that the Father giveth me shall come to me. And he that cometh to me, I will in no wise cast out.
Read.
For I came down from heaven, not to do mine own will.
Not to do my own will, my own thing. Read.
But the will of him that sent me.
I hope you have your notes. Remember, we read in what? Where? Psalms 40 and 8, what the will of the Father is, right? Read. Read it again.
Verse 38. For I came down from heaven, not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me.
The will of him that sent me. John 7:17 now. Start at verse 16 down to 18.
Book of John, chapter 7 and verse 16. Jesus answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine.
Hold up. He said, my doctrine is not mine. We read earlier the definition of doctrine. That's right. We read it. So Christ is telling you, my doctrine is not mine. This is not me. Read.
But his that sent me.
But he that sent me. Who sent them? The Father. Read.
If any man will do his will.
Do his will.
He shall know.
The commandments of God. Read.
He shall know of the doctrine.
Read.
Whether it be of God. Or whether I speak of myself.
Or whether this is me. By my example, by me keeping the Passover, keeping the Sabbath day, all right? Keeping peace with my brother. You will see if this is my own thing. Or you'll be able to see he's doing everything that was written aforetime. He was doing it. Everything that was written aforetime, he's doing it, showing up a prime example. He's not doing his own thing. I know exactly what he's doing. He's keeping the Passover. He's keeping the Sabbath day, all right? Yeah, read on, verse 18.
Verse 18. He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory.
And that's what we saw, an example of this shameless nation. Those that establishing those religions, all right? They're exalting themselves. It's not of God. It was never established of God. It's not of the doctrine of our God. Read.
But he that seeketh his glory,
come on,
that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him.
You see that? And that's what Christ is laying out and letting it be known that this is not me. This is of the Father that's been established way before him, right? That's why he's Alpha and Omega. Give me that in Peter's now. Here's an example. Peter's 2. There we go.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of...
No. First Peter's. First Peter's 2 and 21.
Sorry about that. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21.
What would Jesus do, right? Come on.
For even hereunto were ye called, Because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example.
He left an example. By what? Remember, think not that I've come to destroy the law. This doctrine is not of me, it's of the Father, right? Read.
That ye should follow his steps.
That ye should follow his steps. Read.
Who did no sin.
Who did no what?
No sin.
Which is the breaking of God's commandments. Read.
Neither was guile found in his mouth.
No guile was found in it, no evil communication, no trickery, no deceit, no devilish ways, right? Ungodly manners was not found in Christ's mouth. Read.
Who, when he was reviled not again.
Come on.
When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously.
Right, because what's entailed or embedded in our commandments is righteousness. Last scripture, Matthew 23:23. Matthew 23:23.
The book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 23.
Hold on, let me get there with you. Yeah, there we go.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees.
Read.
Hypocrites.
Hypocrites.
For ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin.
Right, they was keeping some of the laws. Read.
And have omitted the weightier matters of the law.
They have what?
Omitted the weightier matters of the law.
Omitted means to exclude or fail or neglect. Write that down. Omitted the weightier matters of the what?
Of the law.
Of the law. Read what entails in the law. Read.
Judgment.
Judgment is in the law. Christ is he's checking the Pharisees and the scribes. Listen, y'all doing this part of the law, but listen, y'all omitted, y'all excluded, y'all neglected this part of the law. Read.
Mercy.
Judgment. Mercy. What else?
And faith.
Faith. Read.
These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone.
You see that? That's what made them hypocrites. And Christ was on one accord. Y'all claim to be doing my Father's will, but y'all omitted, y'all excluded. Now, wait a minute. Who's teaching that doctrine today? Right. To exclude judgment, mercy, and faith. Who's doing that now? Who's doing that? Which doctrine on the earth, which man-made doctrine is teaching that now? Okay, y'all. I'm going to end it there. I'm going to end it on that.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
What is the nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models.